Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting topic on Meet Champion Online Talk Show. I'm Bryan Lee, also known as the Chian Networker. Today's topic is very special. It's about dementia, multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah? And before that, kindly move your hand to share with as many people as possible on tonight's show. Yes, share with more people so they can benefit from tonight's show. So tonight, we have two special guests from Singapore. Yeah, and we also talk about technology, talk about dementia. So the first person that I want to call and introduce is the COO of AppDe Technologies Private Limited. He's a physicist, author, professor of natural medicine and naturopath, homeopath, and also acupuncturist and functional medicine practitioner practicing in Singapore for the last 30 years. He also the CEO of NTC Alliance Group of Companies, and with 15,000 clients from more than 30 countries, and he has spoken and presented in more than 12 countries. His area of specialties include gut-brain healing, neurology and pain, and brain rehabilitation. And he has presented in numerous conferences on functional medicine, natural modulation, energy medicine, and gut-brain system, autism, and rheumatification. Okay, let's welcome Dr. Sundardas.
Hi, Bryan.
Hi, Doctor. How's
Hi,
everything in
Bryan.
Singapore?
Fine, great. Well, those of us who can do it are doing fine. Others have some challenges.
I think based on your expertise in this brain, you're a brain expert, so you can overcome whatever obstacles that
I've also got
thrown into
training
you.
in the School of Life. It's called the School of Hard Knocks.
School of Hard Knocks, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me introduce your colleague. Yeah. He is the CEO of AppDe Technologies Private Limited. He is very resourceful, well-connected leader. He has led engineering, property development, and construction teams in Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand, and Singapore. With current business interests in Cambodia and Thailand, he's also entered into blockchain industry 2 years ago when he heard about it. He has worked at business development role at a leading advisory firm in Singapore and has experience in 2 blockchain startup and fundraising and business development. Let's give a big hand to the CEO of AppDe Technology Private Limited, Andre Lee.
Hi, good evening, Bryan.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, despite the COVID, we are still as busy as ever. Yeah.
You still remember me? You don't have dementia.
No. Definitely. Yeah.
So the word dementia, I believe a lot of the what you call audience may not know the difference among these 3 words. They say Parkinson, dementia, or Alzheimer. Maybe, doctor, you can enlighten us. What are the differences among these three words?
Okay, so let's talk about dementia. That's like the broad category, okay? So dementia has got memory loss and other symptoms. The most obvious issue is short-term memory. They have problems keeping track of their purse or wallet. They'll forget where they are. They will walk out of the house and get lost, right? They will forget to pay bills. They may start planning a meal and preparing it, then halfway forget, and the water will keep boiling and something goes wrong. You make an appointment with them, they will say, yeah, and then the next thing you know, they don't turn up, right? They may travel out of the neighborhood and they forget how to go home. Okay?
Wow,
so
serious.
Yeah, so that's dementia, and then as you grow older, it gets worse and worse and worse. But the other disease conditions you mentioned, so there are categories of dementia. Okay, there are categories of dementia. So Alzheimer's will account for 60 to 80% of dementia cases. Then there is something called Lewy body dementia, which is about 5 to 10%. Vascular dementia, which is another type, that's 5 to 10%. Frontotemporal dementia, which means a different part of the brain is affected. And then, of course, Parkinson's and other diseases account for the remainder, because Parkinson's is basically more loss of control of the muscular and nervous system. So the dementia component is not that major, although it comes on later on.
Oh, I see. So, any symptoms or not to tell whether a person got dementia or any similar?
Yeah, well, that's a problem. Your short-term memory, keeping track of your money, turning up for appointments, forgetting appointments, getting lost. Then very often when they get worse, you tell them something and half an hour later they ask you the same question.
Oh.
Repeat the same question.
So can I owe somebody money and suddenly I'm in dementia for 10 seconds?
If you owe somebody money and you remember that you owe them and then you pretend and they catch you, you are in trouble.
But somehow it just split. I cannot recall. Suddenly, out of sudden,
that may not be dementia. That may be trained. That you train your memory so that when you borrow money from somebody, you train yourself not to remember.
Okay.
But when people borrow money from you, you remember.
Okay, that's a good
If you really have dementia, you forget both equally.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's go back to today's topic, dementia, a multi-billion dollar industry. Maybe I throw this question to Andre. How big is this billion-dollar industry, and what are you going to do in this space as far as business or technology is concerned?
Okay, basically why we say this is because according to World Health Organization, worldwide there's already around 50 million people that have dementia, and nearly 60% they're living in the low and middle income countries. So every year there's nearly like 10 million new cases, and the estimated proportion of the general population is age 60 and above is between 5 to 8%, and the figures are even rising. It's estimated, right, for people with dementia to reach 82 million in 2030 and 152 million in 2050.
So what kind of business do you see from this rising figure?
Yeah, basically what we see is that there's a huge business from a few categories. Like we have permanent dementia apps and games, so that we can because right now a lot of people they don't understand what is dementia, and we also have coupled with some other physical treatments. Of course, that is done offline. So basically, the dementia apps and games is actually to help, because sometimes, like especially during COVID time, right, they can help the patients with permanent dementia improve their memory capacity using technology. And it's been found that the games project image, and then what happens is that it naturally inspire movement of touch and trigger. So dementia patients, if they keep moving their hands and they are more active, right, then it will trigger a sense of reminiscence to invite and stimulate participation at every level. So the brain become more active. So the key is that the game and app will make them more active, and then they have a good chance to become better. And basically what we do is that we categorize these apps and release it on the platform. It's by third-party developers, and basically our team will approve the process before they publish on the platform to check whether the apps really have significant benefits. Because sometimes people ask, why you want to create your own app store? There's already Android, iOS, and also there's Huawei as well, right? So basically, but sometimes when you go on Android and iOS, you search dementia, it becomes quite messy. You don't know which app is really good and all these things. So that's why we plan to serve in the key difference in this area.
Oh, so what you're saying is you will be the fourth player in those applications. So we have the Apple App Store, and we have the Google Play Store, and we have the Huawei App Gallery. So you'll be the fourth one called AppDe Store, is it?
Yeah, where we specialize only in these key areas of dementia and memory training apps.
Oh, so that okay, good. Then the question is, how is there any like tools to detect whether there is a significant improvement in terms of memory? They say maybe my score now is 10, then after going through the training or games, then my memory index or score become let's say 15.
Yeah, they're
Depending
definitely.
on the
Yeah.
depending on the
Sorry.
apps that you're using, you actually have a pre and post screening methods. So some
Oh,
of them you just play for the sake of playing. Others, there's actually a scoring system, so you can actually see improvements.
oh, can see improvement.
Yeah, and so that's keeping you motivated and pointed in the right direction. What is also important is that the App Store model is that we are creating a community. So one of the major issues with people with dementia, and in a larger sense, is people are not part of a community, they're cut off. So if you can't have a real community, at least you can have an online community, you can have people taking care of you and connecting with each other, and that will make a major difference. Because loneliness, being alone, dementia and depression is what will destroy a person. You get one already bad enough, you get all three really super bad.
So, so that just now you mentioned that there are those developing countries, or regardless of developing or developed countries, you can see that the figure is keep on rising. And do you know where this patient can go to if they know that they have some memory loss problem? And what are the current channel, or maybe they can go to certain association or medical body that can
Yeah,
help them?
actually, you actually have the Alzheimer's Association and representation in different countries. However, in developing countries and the poorer countries, the reality is that the access to medical care is hard, right? So it's harder for them to go to a hospital or a clinic than it is for them to use their phone. And that's why the power of the App Store. Because nearly everyone in the country like that, unless they're living in the town area, they will not get easy access to medical care. But strangely enough, people will own a phone more easily and they have more access. So all they do is they click on the phone, the family members, the loved ones can get them access to these games and all of that, and they start doing something. And the earlier you start, the longer you can slow down the advent of memory loss. Because memory, we have all these medical issues, right? But memory is like a muscle. If you use it, it grows. If you don't, it starts slowing down and you start losing it. And they've shown that with the appropriate type of exercise, mental exercise, even physical exercise, you can actually slow down memory loss and even reverse some of it.
Oh, can be reversed,
Some of it.
Somebody. So like playing games like what, Candy Crush or what, Angry Bird, would it help or not?
I don't know about Angry Bird, but I don't know even about Candy Crush. But there are other word games and puzzle solving games and maths games, and we've got one other program that actually does special signals to the brain to stimulate different parts of the brain. So there are a whole bunch of techniques and technology, and we have actually in the App Store we will be dividing them into different categories. So when somebody goes in, they are like it's like walking into like a live store, except it's all online, and we'll tell you this is where you get this is where you get that, and some of them will be free, some are paid. So it's all a matter of something for everybody.
Yeah. So Andre, I know that you travel a lot in this part of the world, in Asia. I believe that you gone been to China, you can see that Chinese like to play mahjong. Mahjong. See, is it helpful in terms of building the brain muscle or retain the memory?
Yeah, actually it does actually, because mahjong actually you use we actually use both the left side and the right side of the brain. First of all, you have to memorize the tile that you have, and that helps in memory improvement. Because if you know all the tiles on the back of your hand, right, you will definitely the mahjong tiles. I mean, it's easier for you to have a higher probability of winning, because you don't discard the wrong tile, and you also have remember what other people have also. So you do it times 4 times, and also they encourage speed of movement, like taking the mahjong tile before other people take it, and that kind of thing. Yeah, and so it's quite very keeps your mental alertness very high.
Yeah. So, doctor, what is the youngest patient you ever treated for dementia? What have you seen so far?
Normally, normally I work with people with neurological issues, so there are two ends of the spectrum. The young children are neurodevelopmental. That means they don't develop normally. Autism, ADD, and all of that. So you want to talk about memory issues, the youngest patients I would have seen would have been maybe 4 or 5 years old. But that's not dementia, that's neurodevelopmental. In terms of age and pre-dementia, the youngest would be somebody in their late 40s. And normally, like, they think that they are losing it and all of that. Then when we start doing some interventions, they start improving.
So you're, Andrea, you're around that age or not? 40 something.
Yeah.
And doctor, you are way past that age, huh?
I'm way past that age.
You overcome that hurdle already, so you're safe.
No, it's really simple. There's a research to show that. So now we're talking about dementia, right? Then there's another level of brain training, which is how to protect your brain as you grow older. Okay, that's another level. And the trick is that slowing down dementia is one set of techniques. Maintaining your brain keenness is another set. It's like yin and yang. So slowing down dementia is you do a little bit. You want to take it to the other level, you must take it to a totally different level. So as we grow older, we have two types of memory. One type is called fluid memory. The other type is called concrete memory. So when we are young, we have a lot of fluid memory. Okay, but concrete memory is low. So as you become an expert, as you grow older, your concrete memory keeps growing, but your fluid memory goes down. So in order to keep my fluid memory, slow down the rate at which the fluid memory goes down, I keep learning something new every few years. I go and study something which I've never done before. Can be physical, can be mental, something totally new. So I was going to study a new martial art form, I study a new dance form, or I may even work on learning a new language. The trick is you must study something you never studied before. If you study something that's more of the same, it doesn't do that to your brain.
So that's different, huh?
Must be different, and the intensity must be high. You cannot you must work, your brain must work until it feels punctured. Cannot be like, read a book. It must be punctured. So when you do that at regular intervals, 2 or 3 times a year, you keep it going. And this is how there are experts and doctors and scientists who remain really alert as they grow older, because you may have heard of Nobel Prize scientists. Every now and then they will take a 1-year sabbatical and they go and study something totally new, something you've never studied before. They're doing this to their brain.
So do you mean that by taking a course called permanent head damage, you know the course? PhD, they will really help or not? Would you help? Maybe I'm a MBA, now I'm going to taking a PhD in business. or DBA
No
doctor?
use.
No use, huh?
Because there's more of the same.
Same, but different
It's the
level.
same.
What?
It cannot be but it's unless when you're doing your PhD, you say your MBA, you did very little maths. So you do your PhD, you're going into the high level maths or stuff like that, then you'll do something different. But if it's just doing more case histories and all of that, you won't do anything.
Oh.
So it's not just about doing a higher degree, it's what type. It's got to be a
What
totally different subject.
Or like what, quantum physics or the kind of nature.
Like Andre and me, we are always, he's doing a lot of courses, I'm doing a lot of courses, right? And you ask us, our courses are all sometimes not related to each other. They're related to the businesses we are entering, but they're totally unrelated to each other. So we are constantly stretching.
Yeah, that's right. Like my diplomas, I got 4 different types of diplomas. One diploma in computer studies, one in digital marketing, one in accounting, and the other one in safety. So it's totally different.
Yeah.
And of course, I have a business degree as well.
So you might be like jack of all trades, to maintain your memory then.
Yeah, you have to push. You have to push the envelope. You have to push the envelope. Like in the last COVID situation, what I did was I ended up doing the equivalent of 3 years of training in neurology and physiology, but the neurology is not the same. In other words, some was biochemistry, some was structure, some got exams, and then metabolic stuff. And meantime, I put together 4 books that I'm going to be publishing over the next 5 years.
Wow, you're writing your own books.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already written 20 books, 10 are published, 10 were Amazon bestsellers. So, but I'm planning the next 10 years. So I put together 4 books, what we call the first draft. So basically, I'm putting my brain under pressure. So that's another way of doing it. You can do the same thing, but you got to put it under high pressure. And then your brain goes, oh my God. And then kind of, that's something else. And I was doing that while I was studying a new martial art. So that's what you call pressure.
Yeah, very consider taking a degree in law. Degree in law is quite intense.
Yeah.
So media, you're not pressuring yourself, you're pressuring other people by taking a martial art.
Sorry, when I train on my own, so nobody sees me train.
Oh, you must be some punching bag at home, for you to punch.
Punching bag, and then the weapons and all of that. So yeah, empty room, and so I'm training my reflexes on my brain.
Good. So this AppDe Technologies. So Andre, this is a question for you, AD. Wait. It's okay. Or somebody at the back. Okay. So you are doing to build something, something big to help this community in this dementia. What kind of technology are you going to build to actually combine all different community, let's say from the hospital, from the developer, or from association to come at the same place in the same platform?
Okay. Yeah, so let me give a overview of what we are building. So basically, our AppDe Store is actually a blockchain-based app store that specializes in permanent dementia improvement and super brain training apps and training programs. And basically, the main offerings is first we have the permanent dementia apps and games, which I mentioned just now quite in detail, and then we have memory hack apps. So what is memory hack apps? So memory hack apps, right, it comprises of memory training apps, physical training centers, online memory training services, and memory championship training services. Okay, this we are working very closely with this memory training advisor, Nissan. I will elaborate his profile later. So the memory training apps, right, what they do is that they cater to individuals to develop super brains, regardless of the age. Of course, it must be before the dementia, of course. And basically, the apps is done by in-house developer, and also we identify existing third-party developers. And then basically all this will go a stringent approval process. And we're really providing premium online training courses that is developed by Nissan, who's also a Guinness Book of records holder. And what we do is that we also want to create multiple global training centers in different parts of the world. Of course, what we do is that we target Southeast Asia first, and also different parts of China. And basically, then once we have all this set up, we'll go on to the championship for memory, so you can cater to professional memory athletics. Like in US, right, is quite very popular. There's a lot of competition going on. It's something like Olympics, but they test the memory. Even China, you watch some of the shows they have, they're testing the memory and all these things.
Okay. Okay. So you're trying to roll out something in this part of the world, especially in Asia, actually to help to help the younger ones, and of course the elderly as well. So I know that these youngsters, and especially in Asia, they do not have many children. So you have one or two. So they very concentrate on to give all the best to the children. Kiasu or Kiasi, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. So the future will be like in the AI, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, big data. So everything is like machine really. How the human, to make our brain even more powerful than the machine, so that the children can have a slight competitive advantage in the future, or maybe they can get a better job. Well, what do you think about it?
I think it's important to understand that creativity, entrepreneurship, marketing cannot be done by a machine. Okay, so whenever we are no longer at the level of the knowledge industry. Okay, we are at the level of what we call curating experiences. So you need to create experiences for people that requires a different level of thinking. And part of that is your memory must be trained. You have to develop skills. Right now, anybody can Google something and get access to information, right? True. So it's not important that you know the information. Instead, you must know where to look. We all must become expert librarians, Google or otherwise. And that's a different set of thinking. So those who understand that will prepare the children accordingly. They will teach them skills. They will teach them abilities. They will teach them how to surf information highways. And if you go to the library, a librarian needs 4 years in the university. Why do you think they need 4 years before they understand how to look for information? So that's the next step forward.
Yeah, because basically, like the memory training, right? What it does is that you assist you to a lot of people think like multitasking is good, but what you can learn from the training is that multitasking is never good, because you get distracted and then you forget that, let's say for example your task is supposed to be to type 100 pages, but because you multitask do other thing, right? You forgot that you're supposed to do 100 pages by today, for example. Yeah, so that's why all this you will learn in the courses that's developed by our memory advisor. Yeah.
Okay. So beside those training, can we improve our memory by taking in some supplement or eat certain food? What is your take from that, doctor?
We actually have a whole protocol for that. Basically, the first thing is don't smoke and minimize drinking, because all of that burns your brain. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is watch your blood sugar level, because one of the major issues for brain damage is blood sugar dysregulation, heart disease, and infections. And those things will then activate the negative genes. Right? So you want to eat a diet where you're having like 4 to 7 servings of different fruits and vegetables. and you're eating enough protein on a daily basis, minimizing your alcohol intake and not smoking, and exercising enough. Then, of course, you can take fish oil and other supplements depending on what your needs are. Okay? Then, of course, you need to use your brain. You need to exercise it.
Never run away from the brain.
Yeah.
But how about a young person, like school children, their brain is like a sponge. They can absorb, or you give them as many things. They say when a young person can pick up, let's say a Hokkien, a Hakka, many languages. You ask a person, let's say at your age, can you pick up so many languages as compared to a young person?
You raise a very good question. So let me put that into place, right? 12 to 18 is when you learn lifelong habits that will determine whether you succeed in life or not. So while all young people have the ability to learn, it's whether they choose to do it or not. What they do from 12 to 18. So from 12 to 18, you just party all the time. Okay? And you can go to school and party. All you do is you go to school, you do the minimum necessary, and then the rest of the time you party, right? You have missed the boat. Or you can go to school, and you don't have to be good at everything. You just be good at the things which are good for you, learn some skills, go and play games and all of that to develop certain positive leadership skills and attributes. Then it all works for you later on. So just because, as you said, they can learn anything, will they learn? Not everybody does. I had one of my staff who, when he was working for me, told me that when he was in school, one day his principal called him up and asked him what lessons he was having in 3 days in the week, and he couldn't answer that. But he asked him what TV programs were on those 3 days of the week, and he knew every TV program. So he was given the opportunity to go to school. But what he really did was he lived to go back home and watch TV.
So I can conclude that during your era, you got a party life, 12 to 18.
I only partied when I was in my 40s.
40s.
12 to 18, I was in a hurry to squeeze as much as I could into it. For which I'm very grateful.
You still remember? You still remember? Still can remember?
Yeah. I would have schoolwork, and then I'll be in the writing circle. I would be doing martial arts. I'll be doing drama. It's like everything was planned. And my time, you can do all of that almost free. Now you want to do it, your parents have to be rich.
Yeah. So maybe you are from a good-to-do or well-to-do family. You can your parents have been planned it and organized it so nicely for you.
No, that one all I planned on my own. In fact, I had to sneak around because if they knew it, they would tell me you can't do it. So I had to sneak around and do all of that. It's the best thing I did.
Very good. Yeah. Now go back to the business aspect. And I know that AppDe Technologies Private Limited, being a technology company, you are capitalizing on the blockchain technology to actually build the whole platform, underlying technology, and also the ecosystem. Maybe Andre, you can use your simplest word to explain the whole architecture on this thing.
Okay, basically, we are based on the Ethereum Ethereum compatible architecture, and basically this App Store is basically we have developed our own API. So all this will be linked with the blockchain technology. So it will be compatible for Android and iOS and all these things. And of course, we have the usual security protocols.
So what kind of parties are you looking for to actually help you to take your project move forward? Who are you looking for?
Quite a different type of parties. Of course, we are looking for developers, existing developers who have developed existing apps. And actually, we have shortlisted a list of 50 apps in different categories to approach to tie up with us. We also want to tie up with other. Actually, I'm talking right now to one company that's Huawei to see how we can work together. And we're also looking for people who are interested in to increase their memory, whether they're students or adults want to increase their productivity in their work. We're also looking for equity investors and also as well token investors. And we're also looking to tie up with more associations because currently we tie up with the Alzheimer Association in Singapore, but we want to tie up with other associations in the region and also China, and of course our end goal is after we expand in Southeast Asia and China, then we'll go on to other places because we want to assist more people for the Alzheimer's and dementia as much as possible. And also to help the memory team because I myself have been personal. That time I was struggling in school, in secondary school. So what happened was that I was sent to this school. I think it's not around anymore. It's called Supercamp in Singapore, and basically they teach me how to do mind mapping, and I had some memory training, and then after that, from a so-called guy that got C's and D's, I managed to get quite a number of distinctions, and I managed to get to a top polytechnic. So that's why I believe all this training it really can help the people to get ahead in life. But of course, what Dr. Sundardas says is correct. Education by itself is just a stepping stone. It does not create you to be an entrepreneur. So that's why I developed other skills like I was a magazine editor, soccer. I also took part in athletics, and also in St. John Ambulance. So in case I bruise myself in a soccer match, I can bandage myself.
Self healing.
Yeah. So if you go back to your earlier question, what parents need to understand is apart from memory training, they need to give the children life experience. Life experience means go out and work, make mistakes. So all my children were told that if you wanted anything extra, you have to go out and work. We give you everything you want for school, education, and all of that. Anything you want for education, you get paid. But if you want to buy anything extra, computers, clothes, you go out and get a job.
That's what I did. I took part-time jobs when I was as young as 16 at Burger King, and then I work in the arcade, so I get free, so I can play games for free as well. So I had to buy them.
Those were the days when they are so less resources given by your parents. But now you being a parent, will you expect the same or different treatment to your children? Or you say you have to go through my way.
And that's the thing. If the parents make it easy for the kids, they're crippling them. And I've seen that over and over again. So all my kids, they were forced to work, and so when the time came for them to work, they had no problem finding a job because they've been out there so often. In fact, when I wanted to offer my daughter a job, she said no. She went and found it on her own.
Good. So Andre, will you do the same or not?
Yeah, definitely. Because let's say, for example, if I just give everything to what my children want, right? Oh, Dad, I want to buy a car. Then I just give him the car. Then it defeats the purpose. By the time he's 22 or 21, he'll be so spoiled. You always call the father, "Oh, Dad, please solve this problem for me." That kind of thing. Yeah,
true. Just now you're talking about you're also looking at investor to invest in the project. I look at the project is very huge. Actually, how much money do you need to actually complete this whole thing?
Yeah, actually, for this equity investment, we need right now we are running on self-financing. We are looking for angel and Series A investors. So that is a total of $2 million USD. Then the next thing we are looking for is we plan to do initial exchange offering of up to 10 million USD. Of course, we will split it in stages, not doing one lump sum, all these things. Yeah, I do have the roadmap. I can explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, maybe you can just explain about the roadmap. Let's say this year, October 2020, what is happening, and what is the next milestone to achieve?
Okay, right now we're actually doing the private sales from October to November, and then okay, we're doing the exclusive private sale. So right now, actually, the token is worth 15 cents.
Sing dollar or US dollar?
US dollars, yeah.
US dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Then basically, in November, we still will be the exclusive private sale, and then for next year March, we'll be looking at the pre-ICO stage, and then we increase to the price will increase to 30 cents. So if you got any interested parties, is you always should grab on the iron is hot. It's like when new product just come out, it's always cheaper to buy it in the beginning than buy it at end. It's just like property. It's the same.
So that who wants to buy the AppDe token, you can WhatsApp your number at the scroll bar down there with AppDe, your name, where are you from, and which industry are you from. Then we will get in touch with you. So do you plan to dilute any of your share if there is any investor that pump in X amount of money to have some or certain ownership on the company?
Yeah, definitely. If let's say someone pumps in like 2 million USD, we can dilute up to 30%. Yeah, of course we can. It's always negotiable. We can talk more behind private doors. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then if there's somebody interested to purchase the AppDe token, to what channel they can go in to buy this thing?
Basically they push the co-founders or they can register an account on the website, or they can even join our Telegram group or social media channels and approach our team or community managers. All this has already been set up already. Yeah, we have quite a diverse social media. We even have Pinterest, Instagram. We also on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they can also go to AppDe web page,
Yeah, the website, World Wide Web, AppDe.io. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So I just actually show this at the down there. Okay, AppDe.io, correct or not?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good. Actually, when the token when it's going to be listed, what is the price when they listed in the exchange? Forecast price.
Okay, the forecast price actually will be definitely much higher than this 15 cents, right? So basically, let's say it's listed on the exchange at ICO, it'll be 50 cents. Yeah.
50 cents.
Yeah.
So now it's 1.5 going to 50.
1.5,
so
yeah.
you're making so you can making about 35 cents.
Yeah, that's right.
35 cents, Oh, that's very good deal. So how much has been subscribed so far? Have you been launching this coin openly through those social media channel or PR agency?
What we have done is that we have actually promoted this in some online events in the Philippines, and we also have for equity investment, we actually took part in some pitching competitions in Malaysia, Chengdu. The Chengdu one, the result is not out yet because quite a lot of people, because it's a worldwide competition, because it's not held in conjunction with the with Chengdu provincial government. Yeah, so the results not out yet, so we're still in the running. And of course, we also participate in some other competitions. The one is still pending because it takes a bit of time. Because right now it's a bit slower compared to earlier. Because last time the events we used to do it like face to face. It's easier for investors and community people and developers to get to know us better, right? Because normally we have an event, then there's always like after event meetings and all these things. Yeah. So I look forward to the COVID being less severe next year because with all the vaccines coming out. Yeah. Because it's always good to have a live real face-to-face event. Yeah, even though it's limited to 50 because of the COVID, is good. Yeah.
Yeah, because the price of those coin or tokens is pretty much depends on the Bitcoin. Bitcoin within this week already like jump, having some upward, having a bull run. Do you think this will help in terms of the AppDe token as far as the pricing is concerned? If you happen to go into the maybe you can oversubscribe, or when you actually list in the exchange, the price will see a bull run.
Oh, basically what happens is that the bull run definitely helps all the genuine projects because when the people they have the Bitcoin, right? They used to spend money for definitely some will spend buy a car, or buy a Lamborghini, right? As they say, use Lambo, go to the moon. And then basically what happens is that they use, but the more savvy investors they will start investing in viable projects because that's where they can make quite a lot of good returns. Because right now the local investors, they also become more savvy. So they like to get to know the intention of the co-founders, the viability of the project, and how is it different from any other project that is out there in the market. And also because AppDe, we do accept investors to invest in Ethereum or Bitcoin. We don't mind. It's not just taking in cash or calligraphic transfer. Yeah. So it does help. Yeah. And right now the good thing is that even PayPal is jumping on board the Bitcoin wagon, and also I'm sure you guys have heard about this Alibaba. They have this N-chain, right?
Yeah,
they're launching a billion multi-billion dollar IPO. Yeah. So things are actually going in the right direction compared to last time. Yeah, because last time it was a bit like Wild Wild West. There's a lot of it's just like the .com era. 95% of the projects are nonsense, and maybe like 5% are more viable and more genuine. Yeah.
So that you mentioned that in order for a project to be successful, even from the investor point of view, they always have a very great concern on the team, whether the team able to pull through the project or not. Who do you have in your team? Just like you mentioned, there is some memory master in your team. Would they help to give confidence to the investor that yes, I can park money in this project, park money in this company, and you definitely will pull it through, and eventually I will get my 10-fold or 100-fold return in the future?
Yeah, basically, I'll talk more about Memory Master because Memory Master, his name is called Nissan. He has been featured on Channel News Asia, VTV, ZTV, Vasantan TV, and thousands of people around the world have I watched his videos, and he has a lot of clients. And he even got some big clients in Nigeria as well. I know a lot of people say Nigeria is a bit of a scammy place, but then there's a lot of genuine business happening over there.
So basically, I hardly see your face. Can you show your face? You are just see your forehead.
Yeah. So basically, so Nissan is a he doesn't really partner with anybody. If he has actually done his due diligence on AppDe and our management team. Yeah.
So this definitely will be a plus point to actually will make sure that the project will actually go on smoothly. That is what the investor would like to know, whether it's a equity investor or token investor. So do you foresee that you're going to do a lot of roadshow to actually launch your AppDe store, also your AppDe tokens?
Yeah, we are planning to besides the usual investment roadshow, we also plan to do a product roadshow as well. But all this will be subject to the COVID situation. Yeah.
So if this thing COVID still stay let's say for another year, will you slow down the project?
I wouldn't say I will slow down the project. I will still keep going on the project because what I want we are planning now to do is that we want to make it more attractive to investors. We actually finish some key partnerships with Brain Time and of course with Nissan as well. So we plan to even when no one has invested with us yet, we will plan to generate revenue on our own, so that it make us more viable.
Yeah, of course, with a person like Dr. Sundardas, so prominent figure in this space, and also your memory master, I mean more to the younger generation. So, Doctor, you are targeting more to the golden golden age era.
Yeah, more that, and the other thing here is that I can also provide help the younger ones with some nutritional and biochemical support.
The younger ones. Yes, I think the younger ones need a lot of brain booster to actually give them that slight competitive edge compared to the rest.
Yeah, we got protocols and all of that like that. Yeah.
So which country is staying ahead in this to venture in this dementia or brain memory thing? Which country in this world actually is the leading powerhouse?
Hard to say, because they all have their different strengths. For example, in India, they have a tradition of there's a very traditional memory training methods, right? It's so traditional that it's taken for granted, right? So India is one style. But on the other hand, for the older people, they have no idea at all. So there's a wide disparity between the different techniques and the different levels.
Because there are two different way of study. Those during my time is like, because of the exam itself is pretty much based on memorize.
Yeah.
How much can you memorize? Then you will definitely score well. Then you become a champion, good students.
The Indian model is more like that. It's very heavy on memory power and all of that. And I've heard that you go into an average small town and the person there with like 1 or 2 degrees and all of that, they just can't find a job. Yeah. Because the economy hasn't caught up, it's not structured to support that kind of stuff, but they're very highly educated, and that's why you have a constant brain drain. You have Indians all over the place, because they go out, they can't get a job in India, they go out there and they get all kinds of life experiences, and that's to do with that kind of training.
Have you picked up the skill or not?
I'm an Indian. What do you think happens to me when I was growing up? Like it or not,
the brain drain is quite real. Like even in my other operation in Thailand, right? We actually have about 5 Indian engineers working for us in Thailand, because they are much higher level than quite a lot of people, and it's quite refreshing to have . So what Dr. Sundardas says is correct. There's also a lot of Indians in Singapore, Indonesia, even in Africa also. There's quite a lot of Indians.
So, like we have Indians and Chinese, right? The Chinese are great at business. They have great at communication and so their genius is in another direction. The Indian genius is in another direction. And you know what? Both of them require a different type of memory.
Oh, so the Indians are like famous for their tech, IT, is it?
The memory skills are more academic. The Chinese memory skills are more social. But it's still a memory skill.
A lot of people go to India to further their studies in to become a lawyer, to become a doctor. Maybe to a certain extent, it's true.
Yeah, it's a different model. So, in a simple model, like the Chinese, you have a very extensive business connections. You think a certain way. It's automatic. Whereas for an Indian, unless they grow up in the environment, it's not. So, reading a book and figuring out what to do with a book is automatic. But learning about business, you probably have to seriously study. Right?
So one is IQ, one is EQ,
yeah.
Intelligent quotient, and the other one is emotional quotient.
Yeah, there's emotional quotient, and there's also a memory component to social interaction. Because I'm sure, and this is something most people are not aware of. You have to remember the face, the name, you have to remember things about the person, right? And all of this comes automatically when you are more the social networking kind of person. So I have no problem remembering a book. But if I have to remember people's names too much, I will have a problem because I'm not that interested.
I'm not interested.
Not that interested.
Maybe you have those Indian curry factor, too much of it. Is it because of curry? That's why Indians are so good at the memory.
I think we are looking at cultural stuff. I think the Chinese are also good at a different type of memory.
The Chinese also like they remember all those poems.
Yeah. So both cultures are heavy into different memory stuff in different ways. And normally there'll be a tradition behind that. You have your Chinese classical stuff. So you're looking at cultural tradition, which is unfortunately wearing down. So the new generation doesn't get to benefit from all of that. They have to be trained another way. And that's where things like AppDe and all of that are going to be fabulous.
Because like for me, I'm Chinese, right? So for me, I do what Dr. Sundardas has rightly say social memory. So I'm one of those guys that I remember. I know this guy likes a particular brand of wine by a certain year.
That's social memory. It's another type.
Then my manager asked me, "How the hell you remember such things? You're doing so many projects and you can even remember what he wants. You remember the bar that he likes to go to, and you always remember that." Like you have a cocktail, alcoholic cocktail. You remember what type of cocktail he wants and how is it mixed and in what percentage and all these things.
It all goes back to the interest,
Yeah.
So interest come. Okay, that's very good. Okay, maybe you got any last? We are about talk close to an hour. Any give you a chance to pitch. Maybe from among the audience, they would like to invest in your project. Maybe you can pitch towards them, encourage them to come in to become an investor. Andre, your pitching time.
So how long do I have to pitch?
You might 1 minute. Maybe talk about the project. This video will be made available in the maybe AppDe. You can share from this channel, Chian Networker, and share it back to the AppDe official in Facebook page later.
Okay. So let me end off by giving a short introduction. Right. So that's how we mentioned that AppDe Store is a blockchain-based platform for both memory-related games and applications, and then it's used to improve the well-being of patients with permanent dementia. And it also serves as a memory training platform for users interested in mastering advanced techniques such as memorizing contents of an entire book, or for students, memorize the contents of an entire textbook. Can you imagine if you can do this when you're taking chemistry? Then it'll be so easy. Because that was what I used last time, and that's why I got A1 for chemistry. And then for app platform will be open to third-party developers who will be interested in registering and listing the apps on the platform. And then every app available on the platform will be integrated with the blockchain smart contract that is Ethereum based, and to eligible users. And then we can earn rewards in the form of AppDe coins. So basically, you involve digital assets in two or more parties, where some of the party deposits the assets into the smart contract. And what is the uniqueness of AppDe Technologies? That first is a innovative and diversified product offering which addresses the needs of the target market, both the patients living with memory-related health conditions and individuals who are interested to harness their super memory to an advanced level. And we have robust growth plans, positions the company to be a global player, and to have training centers in the ASEAN and China and Middle East and even Africa as well. And what we do have is that we have a core team of experienced professionals. We have a track record of succeeding in the other types of business, and also for myself I really succeeded in two cases of blockchain projects. And we also are experts in memory training, and of course we have health and medical professionals like Dr. Sundardas on board. And we're also looking to tie up with many associations around the region as well. Yeah, so this is a short description of what AppDe is about. Yeah.
Okay, that's very well said. How about you, Doctor? Any take-home message for the audience?
The bottom line here is you can choose to participate in this and prepare yourself and your loved one for the future, or you can wait till you're in trouble.
Okay, well said. So that you want to maintain your consciousness and memory.
Yeah.
Better pay attention.
And look after your
AppDe.
older people, because otherwise your father, your mother, your uncle, they're all heading in that direction. And if you are the primary caretaker, you're going to be responsible. If you intervene earlier, your life will be easier. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of medical issues and costs. And I'm already seeing that. I'm already working with people who are bringing in their parents. And if they are early enough, I will treat them. If they're too late, I say, sorry, I can't help.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Especially when we are in the digital world, a lot of your digital asset is in the wallet, digital wallet. Yeah. So if you cannot recall the password to your wallet, that's
you're in trouble.
Your asset.
Yeah, you're absolutely in trouble. So this is not a nice to have. This is, in fact, going to increasingly become a necessity. So either get in early on very favorable terms, or when you get in, it's going to be really, really, really expensive.
Yeah.
Physically and emotionally and financially.
Yeah. For normal commoners like you and me, besides every year you send, or you yourself going for medical checkup, or sending your parents, the older parents, for medical checkup, now you have to add in another item in your basket. That is memory checkup. To see where are you now. For those who are investor out there, do look out for this AppDe project. You can browse the website www.appde.io to look for the more information about the project and how can you become a token investor as well. You can visit all the major social media like Telegram, Facebook, and of course you have your YouTube, everything. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
for your time.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for hearing us, Bryan.
Don't
take care.
Remember my name. You cannot recall my name. I know that you need some memory training. Welcome. Thank you for attending to the Meet Champion Online MCO show, Dementia, a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'm Bryan Lee, signing off. Hope to see you again. Good night and stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.